What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Off the Couch Boxing. I'm your host, Reckless Rex Ruger, right here in the center of the ring with the Alexis Arguello puppet. Tonight, I am flying solo, but I still get it done. We do's what we do here. We got another kick-ass guest. Let's get down to it and chop it up. He's here now. You know what to expect. It's Off the Couch Boxing. Let's get it. Get my man in here. I feel like we need the Jeopardy theme song playing right here. Let's... Oh, we had him coming in here. I might have spoken a little prematurely. Oh, there we go. Hey, my man, what's up?
What's going on, brother?
Good to see you again, man.
Always good to see you. How's everything?
Wilson Mascarenhas, I'm glad to have you back, man. First of all, man, for a lot of people that don't know, I'm curious, man. We talk so much with boxers on here, man. About physical prowess and physical toughness, but what kind of mental toughness did that really take? For you to come back from what you went through in 2022. With the assault and everything, man. Was that a big part of? Was that one of those things that made you doubt if you were going to be able to continue fighting?
I never had a doubt that I was gonna come back. I just didn't know how soon I was gonna come back. But I think it was definitely just the hard work and determination stuck in me that I just wanted to get back into the ring as soon as possible, and I wasn't really focusing on the negative aspect of things.
But from a health standpoint, though, you have made a complete total recovery, though. Everything's good health wise.
Yeah. Here and there, I still go. I still do some therapy sessions here and there just to get, more mobility and things like that. Especially before fights. I definitely try to get things more situated around my area. As far as my shoulder, so I can, so I can get back in there 100%.
Now, congratulations in order. You just won your last fight back in May. Your opponent actually quit.
I know.
That makes it easy. That makes for an easy night's work right there.
I know.
That's always nice.
No, it was a lot of work. There was a lot of work put into it, for me and the team. We was just glad to, come out on top. We was ready for that. We wasn't ready, for him to quit, but we was ready for whatever he was going to bring to the table. So, we're definitely happy that we got the win.
Yeah, and so what's the plan going forth for the rest of the year? How much more active would you like to be the rest of the year? Do you feel like another fight or two you're going to be able to squeeze in?
Yeah. I definitely been thinking another fight, just to stay busy, stay sharp. I definitely plan on getting back in there before the end of the year. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that work out.
Are you as confused by boxing rankings as I am, man? And to the point where, we've had tons of guests on here, and it leaves me scratching my head, like how exactly you crack into the rankings.
I think that's definitely the team. That's definitely a teamwork and the promoters work as well. But I think it's just staying consistent, fighting the top guys. Just keep climbing up the rankings here, and as fights go on, obviously. And not only that, I believe too that fighting for the belt that I just fought, it definitely ranked me up a lot higher in order to have a chance one day to get to where I need to get to.
So have you and the team actually sat and talked about what the timeline is, to be fighting for a world title? Do you feel it'll be in 2025 or beyond 2025?
I mean, that's the goal, right? To get as soon as possible. But we're gonna take our time and see what we have to do to get there. I feel like there's no I believe that everything happens in perfect timing, right? So I believe if it comes in 2025, that'll be great, right? But right now, like I said, we're just taking our time doing what we have to do in order to get there. No rush. But we're just gonna take opponents as they come.
Now I was reading in the lead up to this, trying to get some notes and some stuff, some information collect on you. So your day job is you're actually giving students guidance.
Yeah, so pretty much I'm a behaviorist, so that's what I do. I work for a middle school, and I work, with trouble youth sometimes, or just kids that just need extra help, as far as mentoring, and that's really it.
Do these kids ever? Do any of these kids ever look at boxing as an option? I mean, I hear so many stories on here about how boxing saved so many people
Oh
or whatever.
yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. And that's why we have different programs. We have not so much boxing, but we have different programs that we can definitely put them on to different resources that we can definitely help them out with. Boxing gym is one is a great outcome for them. You know what I mean? Far dealing with responsibility, far as anger wise. Just it's a whole lot of things that can help you outside of the gym as well as in everyday life.
Now you fighting at the 140-pound division currently, and you're still at that, and you're still in that weight
Yeah,
division.
yeah.
Now, I don't know if it would be considered a huge upset, but what did you think of last week's fight with Pitbull and Jose Valenzuela?
Oh no, that was a nice fight. I didn't really get to pay too much attention to it, but for the highlights that I saw and from times that I was here and there, it was a great fight. Honestly, I felt like Venezuela had put up a great fight. I feel like he was on his toes a lot. He moved, you know what I mean? He placed his shots really well, and I think he outboxed Pitbull.
If you had your way and could play matchmaker, are there any guys in the 140-pound division that you feel like you match up with well, or that would be like potential dream fights for you?
I think I think most likely whatever comes my way to get to where I need to get to. I feel like I'm willing to fight whoever right now. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm getting my experience. I've been in there, and I'm ready to really put my hard work really into everything else, right? And to show definitely to showcase my skills on a higher level. So there's really not no dream fights that I have right now, um, but most likely just to get in there and just fight.
And what is your weight ceiling like? Like, do you feel like you will go beyond 140 pounds? And what would be the limit for you?
I think 147
Yeah, and that would
welterweight.
and
Yeah.
that would be that's the top of the ceiling for you.
Yeah. I think so. I think so. Yeah.
Got to watch that. You got to watch the figure, right?
Definitely, definitely. But I think at 140, 47, I think I'll feel comfortable. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But I think right now 140 pounds it's a great class for me. It's a lot of competition, great
yeah.
fighters, great fights to be made. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like right now there's a lot of fighters that's coming up that there's really no dream fight for me to make happen because there's a lot of fighters that's coming up they great fighters that can make great fight happen. So um who knows if whoever's at the top just happens to be one of these guys, then it's gonna have to be that.
So after you make weight, just to get to know you on a little more of a personal level, after you make weight and the fight is in the book, man, you've been making weight, you've been disciplined, you've been going through camp. Immediately afterwards, what's the go-to food that you have to have right after a fight?
Uh Definitely sweet potatoes.
Uh-oh.
Nah, I can't give my go-to, man. That's it's powerful.
It's powerful. Oh, so are you saying that it's so powerful that it might give other fighters an advantage?
No, no, no. All right, so this is what it is. I get steak, eggs, yams, and shrimp.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you had to fight the best 3-minute round of your life, what would be the artist or the song that would motivate you the most?
Hmm. Man, I can't think of that right now. You just got me.
How
You
about
got
an
me good.
artist?
Yeah, you got me wrong.
Is there an artist you particularly enjoy?
Um, Honestly, I'm not the type of fighter to be in the back going crazy, right? But when I have my headphones on, I like to listen to Sade. I like to listen to something that keeps me calm.
Mellow.
Um, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Not something that gives me a crazy pump.
Yeah.
Um, because I'm gonna get that in the fight. But before the fight, I really like to stay calm. Um, if that's what it is, if that's what a fight that kind of hypes me up, if that's the song that hypes me up, then I guess I would definitely have to say something that's soothing like Sade.
And when you look around the sport right now, obviously all these guys are, you can certainly look at them as potential competition somewhere along the line. But, from a fan standpoint, who are some guys that you like to sit back and enjoy watching what they do?
Uh, definitely. I think Crawford and Canelo.
Yeah,
Um, um, uh, I would definitely like to see Tyson Fury. Um, yeah. I think that's it.
yeah. What is it about Crawford? I mean, he's just so special, man. It just seems like the guy can do anything.
Yeah, I think he has. I feel like watching him, there's a lot to learn. You know what I mean? I feel like he's a very skillful fighter, all around fighter. Can fight both stands. And and I feel like he's an all around athlete. And I feel like if you're an all around athlete, I feel like you can learn a lot from a guy like that. So, um, and I think that's pretty. That's why.
Now, was there one component or any component of your game that you feel like, for a while was not up to speed with what the rest of your abilities were that you worked on that you feel like you've tightened up? Like, what was the one thing that you're most proud of that you've come a long way with?
Um, you guys probably won't believe it, but I think it's just probably comfortability.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Just being more comfortable in the ring, just being able to start showing case my skills little by little. And I think that comes with just being comfortable and being calm. So I think that's what I'm be able to. I think that's what I'm perfecting right now, and I'm just glad how things is going because every fight I just get more comfortable, and I'm able to really place my shots and just have a calm, relaxed fight.
yeah, that's not easy to do.
Yeah, because
Stay calm in general in this world.
Yeah, yeah, but being in there it gets chaotic sometimes. So if you don't stay calm, if you don't control your heart, things can go a little bit, left. Not so I think that's what it is being comfortable in there and staying calm.
Is
And
being a fighter in today's boxing world, does it ever weigh in the back of your mind? Obviously, you're going in there, you're trying to follow the game plan. Of course, it's always nice when a knockout does come, but does it weigh into the back of your mind at all? When you fight a great fight, you carry out the plan, and it's left to the scorecards because and usually my son co-hosts with me on the nights that he can make it in here, but we've been critical about judges scoring, and we do still see some bad scorecards, and I think boxing, I don't think this is any big secret. I think boxing fans know, I think the public knows that we do still see some bad scorecards.
right.
Does that ever weigh into your mind at all, or do you just kind of have to put that right out of your mind?
I mean, at the end of the day, right, it's something that you can't do after the judges call it what they call it, right?
Right.
Um, so I feel like just going back to the score. I mean, going back to the gym and just continue working and coming back the next fight even stronger. Um, when I say stronger, I don't mean being tough. I just mean coming back a little bit smarter with your moves and a little bit more skillful with what you do. Uh, because at the end of the day, you can't let the scores really affect the fighter that you are, and
Right.
that's how you know what I mean. So
It just
I
seems
think
like such a scary thing. Like we watch a fight, like we saw, like several weeks ago, like we see O'Shaquie Foster. I mean, really, essentially, seems like he pitches a shutout, and then suddenly he's walking out of the ring with a loss and with no belt and his jaw on the floor, and he doesn't seem to know what the hell happened.
yeah,
Crazy.
yeah, I can speak from it. I just know that that feeling can probably be tough. You know what I mean? And then you just know there's nothing that you can do besides just going back to the gym and continue working until you get the opportunity again to come back even stronger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things that it's one of those things that you can't control.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
it's just you going back and just continue training until you get the opportunity again to come back stronger.
Now, do you feel like even after your in-ring boxing career is over, that boxing will be something that you'll stay with? Like where do you see your life after in-ring competition? Do you feel like you'll try promoting, you'll try training, or do you think when your fight career is over, you'll be done with boxing?
No, I think I'll stick around. I'll stick around as far as being, maybe a mentor in boxing, as far as maybe not so much of a coach, but just being the extra eye to help out. Um, you know, I never looked further after boxing. But I think right now I'm enjoying what I got going on, and once I get there, I think I'll definitely because boxing is something that you just can't not do, and just quit for life. I
It's
feel like, you know
infection.
what I mean?
It's infectious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
It's you know, it's something that you do, it's something that you live. So it's kind of hard to just kind of cancel it out because you know it's just it's. I think it's in you. You know what I mean? It's tough to just quit it. You know, so I feel like I feel like somewhere at some point in your life you're always gonna go back to boxing. Either if it's to the gym and spar, either if it's to hit the bag, either if it's just be a coach. I think I'll be somewhere around there.
Did you happen to watch any of the boxing action from last night?
Uh, yeah, definitely. Who did I watch?
Virgil Ortiz?
Yeah, that's exactly what I watched.
He had a
That
very
was
tough fight.
that was a great fight. That
Yeah.
was a great fight. Very great fight. I feel like they was both being in the pocket. They was both throwing combinations. It was just a tough fight for the both of them, and I feel like they both wanted it. You know
As
what
a
I mean?
boxer, when you sit home, man, do you instinctively like score or score in your mind? And if you do, like who did you know? It was such a polarizing decision. Do you feel like it was the right decision? Because one judge did have it a draw. He was overruled by the other two judges that both had it for Virgil. Did you feel like that was correct?
Um, it was like I said, it was a close fight, and I don't want to say the
Virgil did
wrong
get
thing.
knocked down twice, or at least the guy
Yeah,
got
yeah,
credited with two knockdowns.
yeah. So I mean, so that at least I feel like maybe a tie. You
Yeah.
know, maybe a tie at the least, but besides that, like I said, it was a great fight.
What does a tie feel like in boxing, though, man? I know you don't have one on your record, but if you did have a tie, though, does a tie feel like a win or does a tie feel like a loss? Like if someone tells you, "Hey, like you tied in this," how do you take it? Like and compartmentalize it. A tie is just a weird thing in sports.
Nah. I feel like being so competitive, especially in this sport.
It's a loss. You
Nah,
feel
man, we
well
got
as
no.
an athlete, you
It's
take it
like
like a
no, man.
loss.
It's you know, like I said, being so competitive, and if the opponent's just as competitive, I think we're gonna rematch because we want to get to the bottom of who's the top
Yeah,
dog. That's it.
yeah.
That's just me. That's just me. You know what I mean? I
Now,
feel
what
like we
about the
might have to run it back.
Now, what about the advent of technology? Like, this was something like when we talked to legends on this show, this is not something that they dealt with years and years ago. But now, like, we see a lot of beefing back and forth, like, on Instagram or on Twitter or like whatever people on. Now, you yourself seem like a pretty humble guy. You don't seem like you're a big trash talker. But do you think sometimes, though, that this, kind of holds up us getting big fights? It almost seems like sometimes competitors are almost more content to just kind of argue on Twitter, but yet we don't always get the big fights made, though.
Um, you know, yeah, me, I'm humble, but sometimes I do feel like being humble doesn't get you
Yeah,
to where you need to get to. But I also believe that um, taking like you said, beefing on Twitter and doing the social media thing.
yeah,
Yeah, I think I'm not here for that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I feel like I live that life, that the real life. You know what I mean? So that beef and stuff, I understand this is a sport, so I'm gonna keep it. So we want to keep it professional. You know what I mean? Have a great sportsmanship and just fight. Um, but I do understand why some fighters do it. You know what I mean? Like I said, sometimes being humble doesn't get you to where you need to get to.
And does it take a lot to get you to trash talk? Has anybody ever pulled you into that trash talk game in any of your fights, or is it something you try to refrain from?
Not really, not really.
No.
I think besides my first fight, and it wasn't really trash talk. It was more like I'm gonna knock your ass out, and you
Yeah.
know what I mean. And to me, I was just like, all right, let's get to it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And we got to it. But besides trash talking, as of yet, no, I haven't had an opponent that did anything to me like far as being disrespectful.
I mean, one of my favorite fighters, when I was growing up, I watched Oscar De La Hoya a lot, and a great fighter, but a lousy trash talker though. He just was not good at it. And Manny Pacquiao, another one, a great fighter, but he just kind of smiles. He's kind of very, very polite. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's necessarily has to be a component of your game. There are some people that maybe
Right,
they
right,
need
right,
it. Maybe some people need it for that mental edge, and it gives them that edge, and maybe some people don't care.
right, right. Um, I think that really just depends on you as a person.
Yeah.
And as far as me, like um, if that's what it comes down to, that's what it comes down to. I don't go to the weigh-ins, or I don't go to my opponent with the mindset that I'm gonna trash talk.
Right.
Uh,
So
but
it
some
almost
but some
seems like
but
some guys
sometimes
are
but
so good at
sometimes
it.
but sometimes it could be a good a great game plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To get them off
Yeah.
they get. Um We'll see. We'll see down the line how it plays off for me.
We'll
I
see
might
if
start. I
anybody
might not.
see
Yeah,
if
I might
anybody
start. I might
ruffles your
not.
feathers.
Yeah, right, right. I might start. I might not. You know what I mean? Not everybody
and
looks good doing it.
And now, since your last opponent, didn't answer the bell, you were scheduled for 8 rounds. The fight was stopped after 6 rounds. When you're in there with somebody like that, though, does it come as a complete surprise that he quits on his stool? Do you feel like you're getting to that point where you're wearing him down? Like, are you aware at all on your side that
I'm not.
no?
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not really aware of it all. But but my team is. Um, and yes, I was very surprised that that we didn't get to go the whole 8 rounds, because you know what I mean. I knew he was a tough opponent. I knew that he'd been in there with some great fighters before me, and I thought he was definitely gonna come a little bit more seasoned up. You know what I mean. So the stoppage was, it was a great. It was yeah, it was a great stoppage, right? Because obviously we got to end the night early, but I wasn't expecting that. But I was being in there with him, it was definitely a great fight. It was a great battle, um, and it was good. It was good.
And what does your team tell you? Like, you say that you're not quite aware, but is the team telling you in between rounds that you're getting close
Yeah,
or to look for any
yeah.
specific thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Just keep putting the pressure on. Just work on the combinations now. You're wearing him down. He's done. He's getting tired. Because obviously, being outside, everybody gets to see a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um.
yeah.
So yeah. So just continue putting the pressure. You're breaking him down. Keep going to the body. He can't take the body shots, and just capitalize on that and just add more as you keep going and as the rounds go on.
So you are a dedicated. So you would say that you are a dedicated body puncher, and it is
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. If oh man, yeah. Yeah,
It is.
absolutely.
It, it
If I start seeing definitely that sign to wear you down, I'm just gonna keep coming forward. But we can't be careless sometimes. We definitely gotta, be strategic about everything that we do in the ring.
It seems like it's a lost art, man, body punching. I mean, there's not a lot of guys that are really as committed to it as they should be. And I think casual fans probably look at it and think, well, the way you're going to knock a guy out is to punch him in the face. But the boxing, man, but the body shots really do add up, though, and they really do
Yeah,
pay dividends.
and I feel like, they do damage. They definitely wear you down, and not only that, they look pretty. They look nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think that's one thing that I like about I definitely like about the fight yesterday. Not only that, Ortiz, as well as a fighter, he always goes to the body and he finishes to the body,
yeah.
and it definitely looked nice. And he was wearing them down at certain times with a nice body shots and coming following up with an uppercut. It was just opening up a lot of shots. You know what I mean? Um, but he was definitely wearing them down. But he
The
was
other
just
big
he
upset,
was a strong fighter though. He was definitely a strong fighter.
yeah, the other upset, if you want to call it an upset, on ESPN last night was Angelo Leo versus Luis Alberto Lopez, and that was a good
Yeah, yeah,
fight.
I did.
That was a
Yeah,
good
I did
one.
get unfortunately, because I thought that I thought that Ortiz was the main event, so I stopped it right there, and then I ended up seeing the knockout, and
Yeah,
that was a vicious.
surprising.
Yeah, that was a vicious knockout.
I think it surprised a
Uh,
lot of people too,
no, yeah, absolutely,
because Lopez is known to
absolutely,
have a pretty good chin.
absolutely. That was a hard shot.
Yeah. Now, speaking of hard shots, are you able to recall who the fighter was, or if there was an occurrence when you were hit the hardest? Or, was there ever a time when you were hit and like thought like, oh my god, this is it? I feel like I just got hit by a fucking truck here. What the hell just hit me?
Um,
Who hit you the hardest?
uh, I think up to now it's probably been my first fight because it was my first fight. But ever since, I don't think I've been got hit and flush that I can say I've been hit the hardest. You know what I mean? But like I said, I think my first fight was definitely the highlight of my career to bring me to where I am now. You know what I mean? Um, maybe being the hardest would definitely give me the flash. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, yeah.
um, you know what I mean. So I think that's what woke me up, and I think ever since it's just been a defense game for me. You know what I mean? And
Well,
just
you're a guy
working off
that's
that.
not known for like you're a guy that's 11-1. You got 5 knockouts, man. So like I wouldn't really call you like a knockout artist. You do
Right.
seem like more boxer or whatever. So like I'm interested to get your take on what you think the difference is. Like we get one group of people will be over here and they'll say that what Shakur Stevenson does for example is a defensive masterclass. Wow, that was a defensive a beautiful fight. Then you'll have people on the other side that will say he runs too much. He's not engaging enough. How do you try? How do you discern if you're watching a master class or if you're watching somebody run? Because obviously it's the art of hitting and not getting hit. I think it takes a great deal of skill to do what Shakur does, but sometimes it's not always pleasing to the average fan who wants to see a lot of punching and a lot of how do you make out heads or tails of that? Like, what's a defensive masterclass and what's just a boring performance?
I mean, to me, the response what I have to that, like, it's people that don't know, like, like Roger said, you don't know shit about boxing if that's
Right,
how you
right,
feel, like, you know what I mean? So, if that's how you feel, like he's been running the whole fight or whatever the case is, um, you can't change the outlook on people once they view a certain way. So, um, I like how the kid boxes. You know what I mean? I feel like he's great. You know what I mean?
It's frustrating to hear because we do see a lot of guys after their career, and we see them sometimes they don't have their faculties about them. So there is something to be said, obviously, for being a pure boxer and trying to avoid getting hit. You don't want to turn every fight into a war.
Right, right, right. I mean, if you feel like you're a masterpiece at doing what you do, I feel like just stick to that. And I feel like, like I said, I like the art of boxing. That's why I like the way he fights. You know what I mean? You know, make him pay, and I feel like that's what I like. I like to see the combinations. I like to see the footwork. I like to see the angles. And that's what I like about the boxing part. You know what I mean? Just being able, and don't get me wrong, sometimes I like the bang outs, like how yesterday's fights was, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
it was still combinations being thrown. It was still angles in there, you know what I mean? They
right.
made it, they made it look nice, but um I feel like for any other fighter that feels like, you're just sometimes there are situations where you can where you can actually see fighters that's just running around the ring. And then there's
Right.
those that you can just see sitting in the pocket, moving around, kind of catching the breath a little bit, moving back in, doing the combinations, turning, spinning. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's a lot to it.
And do you feel like well, before let me backtrack here for a minute. Yeah, as a fan, for the rest of this year, I don't know what fights are slated or what's been announced or whatever. But are there any particular big fights that you, from a fan standpoint, are looking forward to? Like, I was particularly hot to trot to see Beater Biev and Bivol. That fell through, but it looks like that's going to be rescheduled. So hopefully we will see that. I know we got Fury Usyk rematching, at the end of the year. There's always good fights cropping up. Are there any that you're particularly looking forward to?
To be honest, I don't even I don't be really keeping up with fights or what's the next fight, really. But I do know that the next fight is Canelo, and I'm definitely looking forward to watching that. But if I was to see all the names, I think I would be able to pick a little bit better. But like I said, I don't really be knowing who was gonna fight towards the end of the year, really. But like I said, the fight that I'm looking forward to right now is just definitely Canelo and Berlanga right now.
And nobody's and that poor kid, nobody in the comment section of any of the boxing groups that I belong to, and I belong to a lot of them because it helps when I do a show like this. It seems like nobody is giving Berlanga a chance at all in this fight.
I mean, probably because he's the underdog, you know what I mean? And you know how it goes when you're underdog. Everybody
Yeah.
kind of overlooks you and doesn't really pay attention to you. So, and I feel like that's what he's going through right now. Maybe, and sometimes going through it kind of brings the dog out of you. You know what I mean? It makes you dig a little bit deeper to get the W. You know
Well,
what I mean?
I think people forget when he started his career though, he was ending every fight in a first round knockout.
Right, right, absolutely. You know what I mean? And like I said, so I think this is what's gonna definitely fuel him up for that fight. Um, you know, and then Canelo is just a great, skillful fighter as well. So I think it's gonna be a great fight.
And so you fought in May. Are you looking at an opponent or a date for your next fight? Anything in the works yet?
Um, yeah, definitely. We're definitely gonna fight sometime before the year ends.
Okay.
That's the goal. So maybe looking for maybe sometime maybe November, if that's the next show. So yeah, we're just staying busy, trying to stay busy.
And we don't know who's catching the hands yet.
No, not yet, not yet, not
Not yet.
yet,
We have no opponent yet.
not yet. But we will soon, probably.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man. I'm glad we got a chance to do this, man. Always love having you on. I wish my son was here for this episode next time. That's 2 episodes now, and he's been missing in action both times.
Nah,
But
thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
yeah, we'll definitely keep in touch. We'll definitely do this again when anything's popping, man. Keep us tapped in, man, and we'll get on here and talk about it, man.
Sounds good. Thank you, man. You have
Thanks,
a good one.
brother. Talk to you soon, man.
Peace out, man.
Later.
Later.
There he goes, folks. Wilson Mascarenhas, Ill Will, 11-1, 5 knockouts, 140-pounder. Another guy that's a rising star, man, on the come up in a big way. Fighting currently out of New Bedford, Massachusetts, man. Love that guy, man. He's been, he's been through the ringer, man, and he's back. Intestinal fortitude, check. Strength, check. Determination, check. He's come back from some, from some turmoil, as I mentioned, assaulted in 2022, suffered some stab wounds and some broken bones, but hey, tough as nails, man. He's back and right back up at the top again. As I said, 11-1, 5 knockouts, man. Hoping to get another one in before the end of this year, man. And a young man, again, like a lot of young men we have on here, a guy that's rising to the top of the sport and is going places in a big way. He's been on the show before, so I always love having him. Wilson Mascarenhas, a.k.a. Ill Will. Go check him out. Stay tapped in and follow him and keep up to speed on what he does, man. Another young man that I salute and a young man that is going places and going places fast. So, again, thank you, Wilson Mascarenhas. Always appreciate him doing the show. Remember to like and follow us on Facebook. Stay tapped in on Facebook for new updates on episodes that are being released, on any boxing news, on upcoming fights. We try to keep you guys tapped in on there, man. And works both ways. Hit us up. Tell us who you'd like to see on the show. We'll see if we can get them. Give us any feedback that you want to give us. Let us know how we're doing, what you like, what you don't like. And of course, if you're on this channel right now watching this episode, make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay tapped in with the best boxing conversations anywhere on planet Earth, and maybe any other planet too. So remember, folks, stay tapped in, and remember, if you want to be a champion, then you have to roll with the champs.